Hey, welcome once again to another edition of B&B Hockey Talk. I'm Aaron Blocks with my co-host, Mr. Matthew Balzer. Friday, getting ready for the weekend. Before we get into the news and notes of the day, the Philadelphia Flyers, something we missed the other day, they released their new mascot, and I think some people are describing them as something that nightmares are made out of. We heard he was on Jimmy Fallon's show last night. What are your thoughts about the googly-eyed new mascot there? He's kind of reminds me, by the way, of the Philly Fanatic a little bit, or Yuppie over in Montreal there. But what do you think about him?
I know, yeah. This is probably one of the best mascots ever. I think he already has over 100,000 Twitter followers. In only a week. But I love some of the videos I've seen. I think there's a bunch of guys dressed up as goalies, I think, during one of the intermissions, and he was going around body checking them into the boards. And also he had a pretty good tweet. He's just tweeting Pittsburgh Penguins mascot to tell him to sleep with one eye open, sort of thing. But yeah, I absolutely love it. And then Roberto Luongo's tweet about it is just no, I didn't sleep. I didn't get one wink of sleep last night, and it's just the scary black and white pictures, sort of green. But yeah, it's one of the best debuts for a mascot, especially with Vancouver here. Finn, I guess he just bites people's heads or whatever, I guess. But yeah, it's an awesome mascot.
Well, we'll leave a picture for everyone on this video. Bit of a slower day today so far in the NHL, but there have been a bunch of people that have either been put on waivers or some potentially young guys that are a bit of a surprise that they're not with their team. Why don't we let's talk about that, and then we'll touch on a few other things.
All right, yeah. So there'll be a bunch of names getting thrown out here, but I'll try to name all the teams with which these players are associated with as quickly and clearly as possible. But the New York Rangers sent their top prospect, Elias Anderson, down to the American Hockey League, along with John Gilmore, Rob O'Gara, and Ryan Lindgren. All got sent down to Hartford by the New York Rangers. Eric Brandstrom got sent down to the American Hockey League by the Vegas Golden Knights.
And that one surprised me a little bit, but Brandstrom's still young, had a great preseason. I would expect him being up with the team in a month or two once there's an injury, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then with the Winnipeg Jets, they sent Eric Comrie, Sami Niku, Mason Appleton, and Skylar McKenzie down. Eric Comrie losing out on the backup job to Laurent Brossoit, who's actually had a really good preseason.
Say that name 10 times fast.
French names. Sami Niku, I think, might have been a bit of a surprise getting sent down. But I think he'll be one of the first call-ups if there are injuries. And Mason
That's a tough Winnipeg Jets defense to crack, though, for sure.
I know, yeah. And then guys like Mason Appleton, who had a great year in the American Hockey League last year. I think he had around 70 points last year. Just can't crack all those young youth that they have up there. The Ottawa Senators sent down two of their bigger prospects, Philippe Chaplik and Christian Wolanin, down to Belleville, or if I remember correctly, as their farm team. I think I thought Wolanin would get a good shot at making this team, and especially with their lack of depth, I actually had penciled him into their top six, just because he has a bit more of offensive upside, and outside of Thomas Chabot, they don't have much on that back end in the ways since Erik Karlsson got traded. And Chaplik getting sent down, I thought he would get a shot with Peugeot's injury. And with all the talk from Eugene Melnyk about getting a lot of youth in the lineup, but it seems like he won't be starting there. A couple waiver names to throw out there. Al Montoya got put on waivers by Edmonton Oilers as Mikko Koskinen, who actually had a really good game last night for Edmonton, finally getting some good numbers out on the board. won the backup job, which even if he didn't have the best preseason, I think he would have won, just because that $2.5 million cap hit, you don't want to have that down in the minors to start the year. And there was one minor waiver pickup in Jean-Sebastien Dia, going from Pittsburgh to New Jersey Devils. The Ray Shero connection there, New Jersey Devils GM, picking it up. Dia had a really good year in the American Hockey League last year, getting 50 points in 70 games. And he's still relatively young, 22, 23 years old, and I believe he's a centerman. So with the New Jersey Devils, I think in a bottom six role, I think he could get into some games to start the year.
Excellent. Yeah, to me, I already mentioned Brandstrom, but Elias Anderson, I think, was a big surprise, too, for the Rangers, since he was kind of like the Adam Gaudette. He came in and played about 8 games last year to end the season. I thought for sure that he was going to crack the Rangers, but karma for throwing your silver medal into the stands may have caught up to him. People, if you don't know, Elias Anderson's the Swedish player that threw his silver medal at the World Juniors into the stands last year after losing to Canada. Injuries. There's a couple injuries to update us on.
Yes, so the big injury today is Montreal Canadiens defenseman David Schlemko will be out 6 weeks with a knee injury. So that's just another growing list to that back end, with Shea Weber out as well to start the year. So it'll be a pretty young defense to start the year with the Habs. And outside of that, Jori Lehtera returned to practice today for the Philadelphia Flyers on their fourth line with all the drug accusations and stuff. I think stuff's starting to get downplayed a little bit by his lawyer and some of the news that keeps coming out. I don't think this will be as big of a deal as it first looks like. And a Thatcher Demko update. Apparently, he actually suffered his concussion the day before they flew to Salt Lake. It's just that the symptoms didn't arise until that morning skate. So, and none of Demko, Roussel, or Berchi were on the ice today for the Canucks.
Another Band-Aid Berchi. Anyways, in other news, why don't you let me know who stood out for you either last night or tonight game? I see Zach Werenski of Columbus already has 3 assists in the first against Pittsburgh. They're already tied at 3. The Breadman Panarin has 2 goals. Cam Atkinson has 2 assists. And like I said, Werenski has 3 assists. So that top line in Columbus is shaping up to be a real threat. What did you like last night? I mean, McDavid, overtime goal against the Coyotes. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So, Connor McDavid with those 2 goals, and Ty Ratty with another point last night as well. But Erik Karlsson in his debut had 1 assist and just over 25 minutes of ice time. Brent Burns also had an assist in just over 24 minutes of ice time. So the big 2, those guys are going to log a whole lot of minutes.
In other news, Justin Braun just quit the team because there's no ice time left.
Oh, man.
I feel so bad for the 5th and 6th D there.
I know, man. Sheesh. But yeah, it looks like those 2 looks like they'll be on the same power play unit together, along with one of their guys. I believe they signed over from Europe. Antti Suomela had another 2 goals and is up to 4 or 5 in this year's preseason. And with the big trade for Karlsson, they do have some roster spots open in their bottom 6 because he got that big 6 in Kane, Thornton, Pavelski, Hurdle, Couture. And I'm forgetting the other one right off. Oh, and Timo Meier.
Probably Don Scoyer or LeBanc.
Yes. You got those guys, but their center depth is a little weak with trading Tierney to Ottawa. So unless they're going to move Hurdle to the center ice position, I believe Suomela has a shot at getting one of those bottom 6 center ice positions. Along with the New Jersey Devils, their top line continues to click. Taylor Hall with another 2 assists, Palmieri with another goal and 2 points last night. Really stood out to me. And as we keep going here, a couple of the younger guys with the New York Rangers, Brett Howden got his first goal of the preseason, along with the Vladislav Nemestikov had another goal and 2 points last night. And Carter Hart finally played a full game last night against the Rangers. Unlucky for him, he only faced 17 shots and he let three goals in as they lost 4-2. But was hoping Hart would get a better shot at trying to crack Philly's top 2 goalies this year. But could be some American Hockey League time to start the year for him.
I think he's had a great preseason, and Philadelphia's goaltending. Both Elliott and Neuwirth should be worried about their job there. Yeah, let's wrap up. Final thoughts and words for today.
I know, yeah. So it's pretty slow day. We're not a whole lot of news, but tomorrow the Canucks.
Tomorrow will be big. Tomorrow there'll be a lot of cuts and a lot of final preseason games and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Canucks will be in Kelowna tomorrow to face the Arizona Coyotes. Believe that game will be televised as well. But we'll basically get our first look at what the Canucks' final roster will be. Minus maybe a couple spots here and there for guys still fighting for those final positions. Hopefully things can start coming together. I think the only big name that probably won't play tomorrow will be Sven Baertschi, as he's been dealing with an illness. But Marcus Granlund was getting a look on that top power play unit with Besser, Pedersen, Edler, and Horvat. Surprised Nikolai Godolin just didn't take over that spot, but Granlund should get a big spot on that first power play unit tomorrow.
I think that's because they have Goldobin penciled in as a defenseman on the second power play unit for some reason. So they seem pretty keen on playing him there. But remember to like and share and comment on this video. Tell us what you think about Philadelphia's new mascot and all, of course, the happenings around the NHL. Remember to subscribe and follow us on YouTube. This is B&B Hockey Talk. I'm Aaron Bloxel with Matt Balzer. We thank you once again for listening to us. Everyone have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next Monday right here on B&B Hockey Talk.